Alright, yo, how's it going? So, let's see. Hey, Shop, I'm loving your content. Sorry for bad quality in the vid, or good, or good. Last season, I peaked at Diamond 2, mainly playing Cassiopeia. I actually beat Tobias Fate on stream once, which was pretty cool. This season, you made it to Diamond 3 with some other champs you played on the side. You went on a huge tilting spree and down to Plat 1 and have been here for a couple months. You have a negative win rate this season and are trying to find your footing again. You've never been banned or ever type in on chat. I find the main reason I tilt is when I make horrible mistakes. It could have easily been prevented. Yeah, I feel that, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of the time I get tilted is more... I mean, I get tilted in my team too, like, don't get me wrong, but I definitely know the feeling of, like, making mistakes and getting kind of, like, tilted at yourself. Nowadays, you generally will pick Ari if it's a blind pick and Cassie if you feel comfortable in the game. Okay, I like that. Think that if I do okay in the laning phase with good CS numbers, but feel like you're lost in mid to late game, think the worst part of your game is team fighting / micro. You can get big in a side lane, but when it comes to neutral objectives, skirmish, solo kills, out side lane, you tend to mess up. And when you're in mid diamond, you win against occasional smurfs that played at about master level that would absolutely destroy me with how much pressure they bring. I really want to deep dive into your biggest weaknesses and find a way to improve them. Couple questions. You play on 110 ms due to where you live in the NA region. Is this significant enough of a difference to mean anything as you climb? Your main goal in League is to hit Masters at some point. Definitely won't be this season, but maybe in a year or two if I do the right things. What would you say the number one biggest issue seen from low to high diamond? Okay. So 110 ms thing, yeah, I think this unfortunately does make a difference. Like 110 ping is a lot. And I think like definitely as you get higher, some matchups will become more and more difficult for you. It's not actually too bad at the moment because most of the like meta mid matchups aren't particularly strong in the laning phase, but in metas where it's stuff like Syndra Oriana meta, for example, I think dodging skill shots on 110 ping is very, very difficult. But at the moment, it's not really a big thing. And I also wouldn't say that, like, it is definitely a significant difference. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be the reason you don't get master. Like, you could still get to challenger playing on 110 ping. Could you get to rank 1 playing on 110 ping? Probably not. But like ultimately your goal is master, right? So you're just going to have to be a little bit more skilled than the average master. But honestly, I don't think it's a huge deal. If you did feel like it became too difficult for you to play, you could play some like champions without skill shots, like something like, I mean, Arya's sort of fine because she's Everfrost, or you play like Twisted Fate, Annie, stuff like that. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just like if you played on lower ping, it would probably be a bit easier. But it's not really gonna stop you if you're actually good enough. I don't think anyway. So what would you say the biggest issues seen from low to high diamond? I wouldn't say it's just like one thing. Like I said in my kind of improvement video, the reality is that kind of your skill set, whatever skill set you have, comes from it can come from different areas actually. So let me get my notepad really quick to show you what I mean. So something I said in that video was that you might have skills, like let's just write them down. You might have like laning, team fighting, farming, skirmishing, warding, side laning. Like you could have all these different things, right? And the thing is, if you're talking about like what are the biggest issues seen from low to high diamond, it's like, some people reach high diamond being really good at laning and then like really bad at other stuff, and then some people reach down being very good at like skirmishing or side laning, but then they're bad at other stuff, right? So the biggest thing I see from low to high diamond is typically low diamonds tend to be like pretty decent at one thing. So let's say like a low diamond might have diamond 1 level laning, but then they're going to have like platinum level everything else, right? So low diamonds tend to be very good, or well, very good's maybe too much, but what I mean basically is that low diamond players typically are very well, what's the word, like very narrow in their skill set. They're only good at a couple things, and they're not that great at it, right? Like I don't think there are any diamond or low diamond players with like challenge level laning, for example. So I think the things that high diamonds start to do better is they become a bit more well-rounded. So they're still not particularly good at anything, but they, someone who's high diamond might have, say, master level laning. They might have like diamond 3 level team fighting, maybe like D2 farming, D4 skirmishing. I'm just like making up random things here, but basically what I'm saying is that there's people in low diamond, they're very, very like one-dimensional. Yeah, one-dimensional. That was kind of the word I was looking for before. Whereas the people in high diamond tend to start understanding the game a bit and being a bit more well-rounded. So we'll kind of see maybe you're lacking in one area, because what were you, like Diamond 2, yeah? Oh, you peaked Diamond 2. Alright, well, let's have a look at the game anyway. So Cassiopeia vs Ryze, tier start, Ignite. Now what was... Did we see the enemy team comp? We did. Let me just look. Math. Okay, that looks all good. Go back here. So let's get rid of these things here, and this will be Cassiopeia versus Ryze coaching. All right. Okay, starting things off. Getting some nice pride. Trade order E, nice. This is all good. No, wait, let me just check if you can see this. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, I think this is all good. He just uses W. Maybe you could play a little aggressive on this creep. So, yeah, I'll talk about it because obviously you want to get quite a bit better. So, like, you need to pay very close attention to enemy cooldowns, especially during the laning phase. So, Ryze W cooldown, roughly, I think, is about 13 seconds. I don't actually know the exact cooldown, but, like, right here, W has been used. So that could easily mean that, like, when... Ideally, there's several stages to laning. So the first thing is like forcing someone to use a cooldown. Now you didn't actually do this, and he didn't need to use his W. He just used it because he's not very good, right? But the kind of first stage of pressure is like forcing your opponent to use a cooldown. And so the way you normally do that is by standing like close to creeps, right, and threatening them. Like if you're standing here, for example, Ryze should feel like he either has to W you or he has to W the creep, right? Because he doesn't want to get like auto E'd and stuff. So like he shouldn't... Okay, you should be positioned more aggressively to force this cooldown out, and he should not even use a W because you're not forcing him to use it. Now, the second stage is once you actually do get someone's cooldown, like once they actually do use a cooldown, you need to look to punish it. So the way you can typically do that is like you can force a trade on them, and they can't fight you back because they lack cooldowns, or when they go for a creep, you can look to trade on them very heavily. So here, it's like right now, he has used a cooldown for sure. Like, you just saw him, right? So you should be, like, kind of here, ready to, like, auto-E auto, or even just, like, auto-E or whatever. Whatever you get time for, really, to kind of pressure him for this CS. So, right now, laning phase, I can tell, is definitely a little lacking. Yeah, actually very lacking. Like, look at this. Once again, like, his W is still on cooldown for sure. And you actually have the right idea here. I think this is, like, you know, maybe if your ping was lower, you would get this trade-off, but like the thing is, if you just position better, so if you position next to this creep to make him choose again between you and the creep, the ping won't matter, right? You'll be able to get this auto E off him. So far, he's gotten like 3 creeps for free off a cooldown that you didn't punish, and it's a cooldown that you didn't force out anyway, you know? He just wasted his cooldown, and that should have led to him getting punished for 3 creeps, and he didn't get punished on any of them. Okay. Yeah, once again, positioning is a little lacking. So you really need, if you're the lane bully, which Cassiopeia vs Ryze you are, you really need to be positioning like close to creeps. Like a good way is to think about standing like in line with the creeps. So like imagine there's an imaginary line here. I really should use Epic Pen or something. I keep forgetting. But so like you want to be positioned like here or something. Kind of make, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. Where is Epic Pen? Epic Pen. How do you use this again? Okay, so one thing I like to do, can you see this? Yes. Okay, so I like try and stand like in a line with this creep, right? That's kind of like where I'm thinking about positioning when I want to punish someone. And then when I actually want to like trade on someone, so let's say we stand here, stand in this spot kind of here to get the enemy to use their cooldown. Once they actually use a cooldown, I try and position more aggressively. Once they use a cooldown, I try and make like a triangle between my opponent and me. So basically it's like the kind of steps I'm thinking is like, okay, to force someone to use their cooldown, I need to stand somewhere pressuring, typically just like a line with the creep. And then when I actually want to punish someone, I try and make a triangle with the... Oh, that was not very straight. A triangle with me and the opponent. So I'd maybe stand somewhere up here and force a trade on them. So hopefully that sort of makes sense. If it doesn't, like, kind of let me know. But you can see, like, so far, you basically haven't harassed him at all. or kind of like led to anything meaningful. Now this was actually good. So like here, right? It was good. You stood right next to the creep. You pressured him, and you kind of forced him to use his W. Like, this was different from the other ones. He didn't just use it randomly. He used it kind of because you forced it. So that was good positioning there. Can definitely look for that a bit more often. And now, all this stuff being said, like, you can't play as aggressively as this if you're in the losing matchup. I think Cassio wins most her lanes. Like, there's some mages that she loses, but you know, against like pretty much any melee or any ranged champion that's like not a lane bully early game, you do kind of win. So for the most part, you will be the aggressor. And you should kind of see how this has changed the matchup. So if we just like think about like what your kind of goal is as a lane bully, right? It's like, okay, because you have control of the lane, there's several things that should happen. One, you should be able to get vision like in the enemy jungle. Oh wait, I didn't see you had like 700 MS at the moment. Maybe that's why you weren't trading. Okay, well, hopefully, yeah, well, whatever. So when you're the lane bully, right, that should mean that you get prior over mid for those first 3 waves, and you're able to get a deep ward, like either in kind of like the top of it or on the enemy's raptors. So basically, being a lane bully should translate to a 1v1 advantage as well as like kind of advantage for your team. But if we look at kind of the situation you're in now, it's like you don't really have any 1v1 advantage. But actually, no, you have a slight 1v1 advantage. You have a creep advantage. But you never got a ward, so you didn't really help your team. And you have no prior at the moment. So, like, you so far haven't really generated anything beyond like what, like a 3 CS lead or something, which honestly isn't bad. Like, it's better than having no CS lead, but like we could have been much more impactful, I think. So like maybe I think around here you should probably just ward the top side like over the wall. Honestly, like 230 is generally a good time to ward. But ideally you crash 3 waves instead of 2, and then we have a lot more control. Sort of hard to stop Ryze from pushing in once this happens because Ryze wave clear at this point is quite strong. Yeah, so do you see how like because you've kind of played your lane poorly, like Ryze has so much control over mid. Like normally Ryze does get a lot of control over mid, right? Because he has a lot of wave clear, but Cassie is one of the few champs that can actually kind of contest him because she's so strong in the early game. So like basically what's happened is you haven't been able to get any wards, and Ryze has had permanent prio over mid, and that's like made the game sort of difficult for your jungler to play out. Like you it's basically just like you haven't really done anything with the lead that you should have, you know? Like I think your this matchup should mean that you have like a ward down, you have like prior you can first move, or if you choose not to do that, like if you choose to just hardcore freeze the wave, then you should have a big CS advantage. But I think right now it's gonna be about even after he catches this wave. So yeah, basically you playing like a lane bully hasn't converted into anything yet. Decent ward. Is it? No. Let me think. Let me go back. No, I think the ward could be a lot better. So basically, it's like the thing I would look at here is you're versus Kayn. So Kayn is very unlikely to gank you. If you're versus a ganking jungler, this ward is quite good because it's going to make you safe. But I think just because you're versus Kayn and the chance of you being ganked is like pretty unlikely, I would honestly just like ward the enemy's raptor and just like keep that warded, because I think it's like, yeah, it is more likely that Kayn's bot side, but you know Kayn will come back to these raptors eventually. Um, so probably just keeping them warded will provide more for your team, because I don't think Kayn's really going to be ganking. If it's like Lee Sin or something, or to be honest, just a champ that's not like Kayn Evelyn, that ward could be quite good. I mean, it's not a bad ward anyway, but I think it just could have been more valuable, right? Oh wait, Kayn actually stayed topside. Okay, interesting. Now, let's see. So you kind of shove this in. I think you want to kind of crash this. I would be autoing the wave quite a bit more. Okay. You seem to be kind of doing that. Because, okay, if you look, like, this this kind of stalemate position, it's like the worst for you. So Cassio wants the wave like in the middle, ideally, or on your side. It like depends if you want to pressure or not. If it's in the middle, it allows you to kind of contest Ryze on the roam. So I'd say probably in the middle is better. Or on your side if you want like better 1v1 trading. But the worst spot for it to be in is like outside his tower here, because this means that like you can't really run him down, and you're also reasonably gankable. Like again, it's Kayn, so it doesn't really matter. But like Ryze is very good gank setup, right? So this sort of situation where the wave is just like perma frozen here should be kind of rough for you. So I would be looking to kind of crash these waves. Instead, it just seems to keep staying in that position. Okay, he actually fixed it for you. Yeah, okay. He fixed it for you. So that was nice. I probably wouldn't hard shove this though. Like I think right now you have enough mana that if this guy tries to push it in, like you could probably all in and kill him. So I probably would just, yeah. Oh, actually, no. I guess it's fine. You've kept it in a pretty good spot. Yeah, you could definitely look for a solo kill here. Probably on this cannon. I like your positioning here. This is really good, by the way. Like what we were saying before. Yeah, nice. You make the triangle. It should be a solo kill. Nice. Okay, shove that in. Looks to base. Perfect. Okay, you executed that really well. Item buy was good. Come back on the map. Okay, so after you come back on the map, really good opportunity for you to try get some control. Now, this guy, he should not be allowed to play as aggressively as he is. It is insane to me that he is allowed to push this wave. Right now, you are level 7 to level 6, and you have a massive item advantage. Like, right now, when this guy's using all his cooldowns on the wave like this, you literally just run at him. So right now, you're giving him, like, a ton of space that he's not allowed to have. He shouldn't have been allowed to push that wave in. Now you're kind of looking for it. I think you could have just walked up and like W'd him at any point, and you probably could have like, yeah, taken away like half his health or burned his flash. So I think you like didn't really realize how much stronger you were than him there. Or maybe you do. I'm not honestly not sure like what your reasoning is, because I don't think you can really be ganked with the wave here. And like this guy's literally using all his cooldowns and he's weaker than you. So yeah, that guy should get punished pretty hard for that. This ward, it's another kind of like, it's not a bad ward, but it's just like, it could be more valuable. Like, I think it's really worth, especially when you're, one, like you're winning lane really hard, and two, you're versus like a farming jungler. It's really worth getting wards on camps instead. Again, this ward, it's pretty good, honestly. Like, it's pretty good. I'm happy with it, but it could just be better. Like, you could get more value out of your wards, especially when you have as much control as you do. Why the fuck is MF here? Is that MF support or AD? Okay, so you push this wave. You do want to kind of place your pink. I think like here, you either pink this top like dot bush or pixel bush or whatever people call that. I actually don't even know what it's called. Or pink the other one as well, or even just pink one of the side bushes, because pinking the side bush against Ryze is actually sort of good because he is gonna walk through there a lot. But you have your pink up for a long time here without it being placed. Yeah, like you could place pink here. You could even place pink here for the fight. Like, pinking bushes for fights is actually pretty valuable. Okay, yes, you ended up pinking the side bush. It's decent. Yeah, it's decent. Once again, I think you're giving this guy, like, too much respect. So, like... Okay, right now it's fine. Yeah, I think you should trade more aggressively. Level 8 to level 7, item advantage. Kayn was dead. Yeah, you need to just... I think, like, you honestly need to just practice, like, extending or pushing your limits a bit, because, like, when I'm looking at this, like, once again, I'd be thinking, like, item advantage, 8 versus... and level advantage, 8 versus 7. Like, if you just walk at this guy, he can't trade with you. So, you need to, like, he's just getting so many creeps for free that he shouldn't really get. Okay, and then on this wave... Like this actually makes a bit more sense for you to does it? Hold on. Like this would be nice where having the ward on the raptor would be good for sure. I can somewhat understand playing safe here, but I'm not sure if you're playing safe because Like, okay, so you're right now, like your jungler's in base, your top laner's in base, and your support's in base. So the map is quite weak right now. So if you're thinking of it from a macro point of view, it actually does sort of make sense to play safe here. But I don't think you're thinking about that, honestly. I think you're just honestly kind of scared to pressure. Like, if you are thinking about that, that's like good, but I don't know. To me, it kind of just looks like you're giving him waves for free and not really thinking about that. Okay, you push that guy off. Wait, what happened here? The Ryze based. You should be kind of careful with how hard you commit to this. So like just looking at it right now, right? This wave is about to crash again. So if Ryze had stayed and was pushing this wave, this you would have to go back mid now. So like again, I don't know if you're thinking about it, but it's fine to chase up like this if Ryze isn't in mid. But if Ryze is in mid, then you really need to be looking to go back. In fact, I think you might get here too late anyway. Yeah, so you actually ended up losing a lot of creeps because you did overchase. So you lost like 6 creeps for free, which again makes no sense. Like you're the one winning mid. You don't need to give this guy like free stuff. He just like gets free waves. He's just getting so much free stuff. Okay, well, that guy's dead. You see what I mean though, right? Like you wait, what the fuck? That guy didn't base or he ran out of mana? I actually don't know what he did. But you even though you're the one that's winning, you've had a solo kill, you have the winning matchup, it's like it doesn't if we just look right now, right? 93 CS to 90, game's in a pretty even state. Like it hasn't really converted into anything crazy. Like I think this could be like Ryze is down like 30 CS. You've gotten wards on like all their jungle camps. Um, yeah, this is really good. This is so good, by the way. Like, I think you do this now because he has no mana, which is like, is good, right? But there were times when the trades were this one-sided anyway. Like, there were times earlier where you could have walked up and done this and he would have had no reply to you just, like, doing that to him. But, should you have stayed? I think if you'd been paying attention, like, you could come up, order this a few times, and have gold for Leandries, but it's a bit, yeah, no. I guess you should have thought about, like, what your ideal base would be and how you could have got that gold. Once again, this guy is not allowed to do what he's doing. I'm so shocked that you let this happen. Like, Kane just died. Okay, Kane just died. So, this is, like, pure 1v1. You see them bot. This, I can understand, like, right now is fine. You're farming, but, dude, he is not allowed to just... How is he allowed to do that? Like, he should lose, like, all his health for doing stuff like that. Just, like, walking up and hitting the tower. It's insane. And, like, once again, you can be, like, moving into him and, like, forcing him off the wave. Okay, now, if you do choose to push a wave like this, it needs to convert into a lot of vision. So, well, like, whenever you push a wave, right, it means, like, you get a wave of prior, it means you get a turn to do something, but it does give them a wave for free. Well, not for free, but it does give them a wave uncontested, sort of, right? So when you push a wave like this, if you are choosing to push a wave, it needs to convert into something. And right now, it definitely can. 2 wards, 1 pink. But if you don't use these 2 wards and this pink, then pushing this wave is kind of just like giving him free gold. So right now, I think this ward... There was an argument for the previous pink ward being in here because he was going to roam, but I think now I'd place this pink in this dot bush here. And I think this ward should be placed like on blue buff or something. So I'm not really a fan of where those wards were placed. Yeah, nice. Like obviously if the ult's better, like you probably kill him, but like you can see, right, this guy can't fight you. If you just fight him, especially if you had Leandries, but like he cannot fight you at all. And I think those wards should have been way deeper. Ooh, that nice. That was clutch. Okay, another solo kill. Very nice. Stay and get the scuttle. Now you oh yeah, that's fine. Scuttle. Doing drag. Yeah, I guess it's fine. The item, okay, yeah, I like it. It's pretty strong. Could be much stronger, but No, still pretty good spot. I think pushing side versus Kali is sort of scary, which I think you're about to find out. Okay, so I think honestly, this probably just isn't really your wave. I think like right now, if you're patient, like you actually get this wave. Like looking at this, like Gragas is coming up, you've ping assist, like you know this is sort of scary. And like you've got Gragas coming up towards you. I think if you just kind of show a bit too early or a bit too greedy, like you can get this wave in a little bit. Um, but yeah, and I think also you kind of didn't use your abilities that well. Like I think Wing here isn't really gonna do anything. Ulting here also isn't really gonna do anything. Yeah, and then after that she kind of just has too much mobility. So I think you definitely like went too early. I mean it's not too bad. At least you got a bounty, but yeah, you went a bit too early. Okay, come back on the map. I don't have, you have vision again that you could place. This is a horrible base. So like you've just come back on the map, right? Full resources, you got full mana, you've only got 200 gold, so like this is at the point where you can pressure the map so much. You're stronger than Ryze, like you're 2 levels up, you can control mid, you have like vision to place, you have ult, you have everything up basically except your sums. And like what you do instead is you just base. Literally zero pressure. Like you're the one that's strong. You can be taking over the game. Instead, you're basing to spend 400 gold on a Kindle gem while you have full HP and full mana. It doesn't make any sense. It's like literally negative pressure. Or it's not negative pressure, but it's like you're strong. Like you can do stuff. This could be like, okay, if you stay, right? If you stay, you've seen Kane bot. This could be like, okay, we've got 2 wards. We could probably take enemy raptors if you were greedy, but like ward enemy raptors. We could ward blue. Like we could pink the bot side. We could run down here for a 4-man. You know, we could clear out this vision. Like there's a lot of pressure you can create right now because you're stronger. If you were the Ryze getting pushed in, like you're hoping that Cassio doesn't just roam somewhere and like get kills or do something. He's like so happy that you just spent like a full minute doing nothing. Like let's look at this. Okay, you spawn, you get to lane 15, 16. Okay, 15, 16. Then you come here, you clear another wave. So it's like from this full minute from 15:16 to like 16:05, so like 50 seconds, you didn't do anything, even though you're 2 and 1 and you're like really fucking strong. It's okay, come back mid. Push this in. Okay. This is like really bad again, by the way. Like you come back on the map, you literally just base every like 500 gold. Like, okay, this one is a bit more acceptable because you're getting an item, right? Like, okay, it actually sort of makes sense. I guess it does make sense. Like if you end up in this situation, you should base and get your item before drag. But the problem is, like, just because you based before for a Kindle gem, you come back, you clear like 2 waves, and then you base again. Once again, basing with full HP and pretty much full mana. It's like, you should be basing now because you have item, but you should have been pressuring that entire time. So you see how like during this whole time, the enemy is not really feeling, they're not feeling the pressure that like a fed Cassio should be putting out because it just like, you know, well, to be honest, for the past 2 minutes, you've pretty much been off the map because you've had poor base timing, and you just like haven't been using your pressure well, like at all. So you should really realize that because it's not gonna matter how fed you get if you're never even pressuring the map in the first place. Because like, you know, we talked about the laning phase and stuff, right? Like let's say you came out of laning phase 5-0 instead of 2-0. For this past like 2 or 3 minutes, it wouldn't have made a difference because you're just like not even there. Here, push mid first. Yeah, I like this. I like this. This was a smart play. Okay, so now we're finally in a fight. To be honest, this is kind of scary. I actually think you guys shouldn't be here. So like, okay, right now, it's like your bot lane is both dead and your top laner is top. So like, what? This is like a 2v4 at best. So like right here, if you can actually force them to commit numbers to get this dragon, it's pretty good because Kled's gonna get top. So like right now, if you're like looking at the map, You need to just like try and get them to commit to this, but like not die for it. Okay. I think you like overextended a bit too much, but I like what you did here. Like this is good. Forcing them to come. This is very pressuring, by the way. Like this is where, they are forced to bring people because you're strong. Like do you see here how like you pressuring the map is like essentially getting you a free tower top? So it's very different from what you were doing before. Very different. Yeah, though I think you should go back to midwave, and I think looks like you're. Yeah, this isn't good. So you kind of, I think now you've already got the top tower, and your bot lane's back on the map, and your top lane is coming. So all you need to do is like probably just clear this midwave, and then you can actually fight this. But you try and play a bit too aggressive. It's not really like your job at the moment to do this. So you're forced to use flash and ult. So like now a fight's gonna begin, which would have already happened. I'm like pretty sure this fight was gonna happen anyway. Except now it's just like you have to fight it without flash or ult. So it's gonna be kind of difficult for you. Oh, nice. Actually, why does he hit that? Okay. Clear this wave. Go for a. Yeah, just keep clearing. I'm gonna get blue. Ooh, this guy's actually gonna contest for it. I like this. Oh wow, that was warded? Or it was just lucky? What the hell? Let's see. I don't know, it was swept, so it's not warded. Oh wait, he blue trinketed though. He would have seen you, I'm pretty sure, right? Oh, maybe not. That is kind of unlucky, honestly. That is just a bit unlucky, I think. Okay, come on the map, push top. You see them all bot side, just keep pushing here. This is really good. I would honestly probably push another wave. Akali would have altered, right? Yes. I'm pretty sure Akali has not. I would keep pushing top here. I don't think you need to be scared of anyone. I think here, it's like you push another top wave, probably take Krugs. Yeah, okay. So you did end up doing it, but you kind of took a while. But it was good, it was good. Damn, Eclipse fucking going off. I don't think you should stay here. I would probably base. I think the problem is if you stay here, like, Akali can just walk up behind you. I'd actually be curious to see if this ends up working out for you, because I think I would have probably based, but... Like, maybe you can clear this wave and then take these Krugs. Kind of looks like you're in a rough spot, though. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I think here, like, you just base, or if you're really greedy, you hide in a bush and cheese MF, but I think, yeah, kind of greedy to stay on the map. I mean, it was, like, good. Like, right here, it was actually really good. They lost, like, a ton. You got a lot. But then you, like, overstayed, and it kind of just, like, wipes away all the progress you made, pretty much. Because, like, you denied maybe, like, 300 gold worth of creeps, and then you just gave 300 gold back over, so it doesn't really matter if you end up dying at the end. Nice flash ult. Ryze is dead. Okay, looks like this fight is pretty good for you. Nice. Very nice. Gonna force to base, you get the Ryze. I like the MR. I think that's a smart choice. Back. Nice. Okay, so you get this. Wow, holy shit, you're actually perma CC'd. This is so annoying. Your team fighting has been pretty good, honestly. Damn, crazy high value ult. Yeah, nice. Oh, close. Okay, now what would I actually buy here? Yeah, I think you actually do fully commit. I would probably go like Spear Visage or something this game. Yes, my man. No, not Abyssal, the other one. Well, Abyssal would be okay too, but I think Spear Visage would be a little better. But both of them, I think, are really good choices. Like, pretty much their only damage threats are AP everyone else is like too weak. Now, what happened here? Yeah, okay, I think you'll find a group mid here. Yeah, it's all good. Dude, Kali is so annoying. Okay, you guys get the tower. Should probably be looking at Baron. I think this is maybe overstay. Well, you guys should get Baron here, right? Oh no. How does this happen? It's like a free Baron for you guys. You should be like spamming pings on the Baron. Probably like here, honestly. I think you don't even need to chase these guys, but okay, like yeah, your team decides to chase, so. But now, definitely spam pinging Baron, in my opinion. But they overstay so long, so you guys don't get Baron, even though... Oh wait, yeah, you even typed it, finally even find a Baron. But honestly, like, this is kind of your fault too, you know? Like, you should literally be spamming assist pings on it, or like, on my way pings. You put like one ping on it, but like, the only way to fucking force people to do stuff in solo queue is to like back ping them, spam ping them, like, you know, you've got to like you've got to really like force them to do stuff, especially because like I think like that play was quite obvious, you know, like you noticed it was like very obviously a Baron angle with like two members dead. That MF does actually no damage. Oh no, just no one's dying. Okay, I think this team fight was played pretty poorly, so I think like you keep using your W a bit too early. Like I've noticed in fights and stuff, like a lot of the time your W kind of falls short. Like I think here if you just walk forward a bit, W this guy, he probably dies. Okay, that guy kind of lives on 1 HP. And then yeah, I think the ult onto Akali doesn't really make too much sense. They kind of just like outplayed you, and also right here, you did. Oh no, Braum played it well. You also didn't use your ignite. Like I think the ignite for healing cut on Kane. Like I think it looks to me like Kane's dead here, so I understand that. But I think after this, you honestly probably ignite him, and he will probably die. And yeah, maybe ult a bit better, but honestly, that's kind of a tough fight position. Like I think a fight like that is sort of difficult to play out, where they've got like access to loads of walls and stuff. So you guys get a pick, come to Baron. That's really good W usage. Like, you know he's gonna come in like that. What the fuck? Yeah. Nice. Nice W. Base. Now, last item should definitely not be Zhonya's, I don't think. So, I think here you're looking to either go Void Staff or Rabadons. Couldn't quite see the items there, but I think this is like too many defensive items. Like, you only have 335 AP, and you're building your 5th item. Like, that's actually insanely low, and that's with Baron, by the way. So, like, I think these 3 items, like Liandry, Seraph, Rylite, they're pretty important. And then I think, yeah, you're kind of forced into an MR item because, like, look how fed Akali is. Like, you're kind of forced into it. But after that, in my opinion, it's like, wait, what did they have? Let me go back. I think it was like, did they have MR? Let's see, MR. Yeah, I would build a Void Staff to kill these two. I think going Zhonya's now honestly doesn't really change anything. And I think it's going to be significantly less damage, so I would not build that. I would definitely not build that. You've got to like... I only build Zhonya's when the damage is actually unavoidable that I'm trying to Zhonya's. Or is like realistically quite hard to dodge. Like if you think of something that's like technically dodgeable but honestly quite difficult, it's something like Zed ult. So like Zed, he can ult you, he can E you. You could dodge the shurikens, but like if you get hit by one, you're probably gonna take like too much damage to play the fight, right? So that's something that I would buy Zhonya's against. But this game, it's like, what are you gonna Zhonya's, or what do you need the armor for? It's like MF ult. Realistically, you can avoid this. Like, Kane knock up, like no, that's like you just need to position better. If you're like Zonyaing a Kali ult, it's like I feel like you just die straight afterwards, you know? So I don't think Zonya's really does anything for you this game, and it's very much like Yeah, I don't know. I think it just like lowers your damage output a lot and doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I think you buy defensive items when you literally can't play the game without them, and I really don't think. I think you've already got the defensive item that you're kind of forced to buy. You know, like you already got your MR item that you were forced into buying because like is a Kali damage avoidable? Like no, not really, not realistically anyway. If, yeah, if we're building Void, it'll make dealing with this guy a lot easier. Uh, oh no, this is not going well. Yeah, okay. No, this fight was played pretty poorly. So at the start, it's actually looking pretty good, like right now. I think you honestly should be looking to just ult them here. Like, okay, one thing I normally think about in team fights is, and I just did a team fighting guide actually, is think about like who are the most valuable targets. To be honest, Kane is not a valuable target at all. You're only hitting Kane because he's the target in front of you. And I don't think ulting Kane is ever really going to be worth it. But like if you're thinking here, like, okay, the most the most valuable targets are like this Ryze, MF, and stuff. If you're just looking with ult here, when these guys move up, if you get ult here instead of here, like it looks completely different. In fact, you probably instantly win the fight. And then it's like here, I think you should honestly probably W these guys off. Like again, these guys are way higher threat than Kane. And if you W this way, you probably keep them off. Like Wing here, it's pretty hard to use W at this angle to kill Kane. So yeah, team fight was not that well played. I think like one thing you need to think about, right, is that typically as Cassio, you're kind of forced into hitting whoever's in front of you because that's just like how the champ works, right? But if for some and most of the time that'll just be a tank or something like Kane, right? But if for some reason the fight ends up being very weird, like this, where it's like kind of split into two halves, and like you actually get to hit the people that are the most valuable, then you should still look for that, right? Because I think normally when I talk about that thing of like, you know, numbering people 1 to 5, so like 1 being the most important, 5 being the least important, you probably would have Kane as the least important member of this team. But most of the time as Cassie, you are kind of just forced to hit like the number 5 because that happens to be the person that's like the tank or the frontliner, right? But in this situation, like for once as Cassio, like rare situation, you've actually got it to where like you're in range of like all their 1, 2s, and 3s and whatever, you know? Like you could have probably carry that fight with better ult, better W. And it's like a trap to fall into of just like still hitting that person that is really not that useful just because like that's just who you normally hit, you know? So this game look okay, yeah, game's over, so let's bring up Notepad. So early game, there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of like laning fundamentals. So we talked about it, like positioning, yeah, no, there was a lot of them. So I'm actually gonna make a whole list. So it was like the positioning in terms of like next to creeps. There was like how to punish CDs. So like there's a lot of time where you didn't really punish their cooldowns. You also need to just like I guess like identify advantage. Like there were times you had level, item advantage, cooldown advantage, and you still didn't punish. So like punish harder, like play more aggressive, play more aggro, just like test limits. Think the warding, that's not really laning. Other early is like, yeah, the warding. So if they don't have a ganking jungler and you have this much control over mid, should be like deeper wards, like use your prior for more pressure. There was that. There was like the base timings where you were just like don't ideally don't base with full HP, full mana. There was like so much time where you were off the map, not pressuring anything. I think that was mainly the early game, honestly. And then in the mid game, your biggest issues were like, there was like a little bit of side laning, where you could have. There was like sometimes where you pushed out too much. There was the time where you didn't wait for Gragas to come, and then there was a time like where you didn't base. So like side laning, it could be improved a little bit, but you're at least like giving it a go. I would say itemization, I think, was honestly mostly fine. Team fighting could be a bit better, so I guess like identify most important targets, and then it's like normally you're kind of just forced into hitting Kane, but sometimes you'll get to hit the rest of the team. I think with better ults, with better Ws, you could have done quite a bit better. But I think for the most part, your team fighting was actually pretty good. Let me just actually kind of skim back through this. I think, yeah, also, yeah, I guess you could like ping your team a little more, like try and control them a bit more. Like obviously you can't always force them to do stuff, but I think there are a lot of times where you could have like, you know, kind of shockwalled your team to victory. Like you don't have to type anything, but I think just like spam ping, especially on stuff that's really obvious, like the Baron. And then also, it's like, okay, you know, fights like this, if you're a little bit stronger, this fight is just won, right? If this Kane dies here, the fight would be completely different. And that's where all your early game stuff comes into effect. Because it's like, you know, if you'd done any of these things, probably would have made a really big difference. So, okay, in conclusion, or like the biggest things for you to work on, you've got your laning, warding, base timing, I would say these are the three biggest, and then I would say like side laning as well, and then like a little bit team fighting. So you know how you were like saying before, like what are the biggest things that kind of you know, say that low diamond players struggle with and high diamond players are better at. In my opinion, you're good at your champion, I think. Like I think you can play Cassio, and like your team fighting is probably at a diamond level, and then or like at a let's say your team fighting is at like a diamond 2 level, right? Then the rest of your stuff is really lacking. So like that's why you're in low diamond is because you are, you know, you're pretty much just like you've got some champ mastery, you got some decent team fighting fundamentals, but then we're really lacking everything else. So the way I would work on things, laning, it's like I would say it's mainly these things like the positioning, like punishing cooldowns, like pressuring way harder, playing more aggro. The warding, it's like trying to get greedier wards and just like think about actually creating pressure. Like think about what creates pressure and like how you can create the most pressure. Um, and the base timing is actually really important as well because you kind of just like lose pressure every time you base. So just like try and plan your base timings in advance. So you really don't want to be basing very often. You want to be basing like for big items or because like you're forced to base because you've used up all your resources or something like that. Not just basing over and over. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about anything. Hopefully I did explain it all for you well enough. But yeah, if you didn't, let me know and I'll be happy to kind of answer any questions for you. So good luck, man.